We're with Trell, recording on a potato, and we have a deck profile for you guys to tide you over until YCS Dallas has happened and things.
We'll have better stuff after that.
Alright, so here's a profile.
But I don't think this deck is bad.
Some deck.
I've been playing it so far, and it's actually undefeated. So, take it with a grain of salt. That of course it's not meta or anything, but it's pretty fun. Anyway, you're gonna see what it is immediately. I played Double Giant Rat. First off, shout out to Miss Martha Rockefeller for the Secret Rare Giant Rats. They're really, really sexy. Everybody knows I like my shiny shit. So why not my shiny hood rats? Alright, next we got is a Super Heavy Samurai Blue Brawler. Yes, you guys realize it's Super Heavies. Simply, this guy said he cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, when he's normal summon or special summon, you switch him to defense position. Of course, it's his first turn, you just set him. They run into it, and he's good. And there's ways in the deck for you to attack and defense. He's got 2,000 defense, so he's a 2,000 level 4 attacker, essentially. You got Triple Flutist. This is one of your favorite power cards. Pretty much this card says you can tribute it off to special summon one Super Samurai from your hand. That's anyone. I like to use them a lot with scales and of course with your big guy, Big Ben K. Also, while it's engraved, if your Super Heavy would be targeted by any effect, you can banish it to negate that targeting effect and destroy it. So it's really good because most ways they're going to get around these by like things like Castell and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not really going to be bigger than him because he's 3,500. So they're going to try to target it or traps or monster effect or some shit. So this is really, really good. Triple Trumpeter. It's probably my least favorite of the tuners that they have. But you got to run 3-1 because it can special summon itself from the hand. And if you tribute it off, you get to special summon it back from the graveyard to the field. Also, it's level 2 tuner, so you just kind of got to run them because you want to make your synchro plays for your big guys. Other than that, he's my least favorite, but he's kind of necessary. Triple Super Heavy Samurai Battle Ball. He's awesome because he just steals one of your opponent's monsters. If they have a level, you just use this and one there, send it to the graveyard and make one of your synchros. It's just too fucking awesome. I mean, especially considering the fact there's so many rank 4 decks out there. You summon him, take like we'll just say Satella Knight Deneb, and you pretty much got a Super Heavy Samurai shooting Doji on the field. Like it's just too free. I love him to death. This is Giga Gloves. He's not that great because he's kind of slow, but his effect is really awesome. Pretty much anytime it's sent to the graveyard, because just if this card is sent to the graveyard, he's pretty much a pot of duality for your next 5 cards. Except you don't add them. You don't add one. You just pretty much look at them, shuffle them how you want them to be put out there. And then if you would take damage from a direct attack, you can banish this, excavate the top card, and if it's super heavy, you add it to the hand and make that attacking monster's attack become 0, and that's permanent. So this card's really good because he's 1800 defense, and other than that, you want him to die anyway, just because you can make a really big monster attack become 0. Like I used this on a monster when my opponent about to OTK me, and I just went to game from there because they had a 0 attack monster that couldn't switch to defense, and I just beat over it next turn. Triple Scales. Scales like the Altair of the deck. Pretty much whenever he's normal or special summon, you can special summon one Super Heavy Samurai, level 4 or lower Super Heavy Samurai monster from the graveyard. I usually like to use him to get my Soul Piercer back, or one of my equipped Super Heavies, or like one of my tuners to go into one of my big synchros or whatever. He's good for rank 4s and of course for synchro plays. Like I say, he's Altair, so you got to run 3. I don't know why he's a rare because he's really damn good. This is Soul Piercer. Pretty much this one can equip from the hand or your side of the field to a Super Heavy monster. It gives the monster piercing damage, which is really good, especially because a lot of people, once they realize your monster's too big, they're going to try to sit there and defend and just kind of wall up, which is annoying. Also, if this card is sent to the graveyard, it's pretty much a searcher. That's why you got to run 3. It adds any Super Heavy Samurai monster from the deck to the hand. Now, essentially, this deck has to play with no spells and traps because that's how most of the effects work. But you'll see that every one of them has an effect that works just like a spell or trap, so it makes them just that good. Then, of course, you got your big daddy Ben K. When this card is normal or special summoned, it immediately switches to defense. And while this card is on the field, all Super Heavy Samurai monsters can attack while in defense position. So if you put him on the field and equip with a Soul Piercer, you got a 3,500 attacker that's doing piercing damage, and he's really, really good. Also, to go along with that, you got a Triple Soul Buster Gauntlet. This is the one that just it push for game. Pretty much anytime when a Super Heavy Samurai in defense does battle, you can piss this off during the damage step, and it doubles that monster's current defense. So pretty much, if he's 35, you can drop that out, make 7,000. So if they're attacking you, then you have a 7,000 defense monster that they just ran into and took damage. If you're attacking to them, you have a 7,000 attack monster that's attacking them and kill their monsters because technically you are attacking. So of course you got to run through this, and it's just too good. You can equip it from the hand as well, but you're never going to do that. He's a hand trap. Why would you? All right, you got one Soul Bane Cannon. Pretty much when he's equipped, he gives one Super Heavy Samurai defense at 1,000 defense increase. And also while this card is engraved, and you have a Super Heavy Samurai monster on the field in defense, when an effect activates during the battle phase, you can banish this card blow up all monsters on the field, and then deal 1,000 damage to both players. So it's really good for just resetting stuff because sometimes you want to nuke the field because you may be behind the control, and it's just a free pop. So it's like a black rose pretty much. It's really, really good. This right here, what's his name? Yeah, Big Wahari. I always get it wrong. Big Wahari. Anyway, pretty much he's essentially there just because he's a free special summon. If you have no spells and traps in your graveyard, you can drop him to the field, and he's a 2 tribute monster. So sometimes you're stuck with a Benkei in hand. You just special him, shoot him off for Benkei. Benkei switches to defense by his own effect. You got your shit going. Just a 1-0 because he's level 5. Other than that, you don't do anything else with him. So just 1 is good. Then you got your Soulfire suit. Pretty much this right here is just like, it's another hand trap that just says whenever a Superheavy Samurai monster will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can piss this off. That monster loses 800 for the turn, but it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects for that turn. So it's pretty much in those cases where they do something stupid that does not target your Benkei or something. Pretty much just pissed this off. And it's just a 1-of because, I mean, it's not many destruction in the format, but just in case. But it's just like it's just a 1-of to pretty much just keep your monster alive for another turn play. Because if they do everything they can to get around it and they don't get around it, next turn you usually have game or you have advantage all over. I run the 1 Chameleon. I was running 3 Giant Rats, but instead I put in the 1 Chameleon instead because I can bring Soul Piercer back. And if Soul Piercer is sent for the Synchro or if it's sent for an Aziz Material, it still gets its effect. And this gives me essentially a rank 4 or a level 8 Synchro. So this is really good to run. Like it's just a 1-of because they don't have that many targets, but the targets come out of the deck so easily, so I like to play them. Double Ghost Ogre because we need ways to get to do some field removal, some spot removal. And so when they use effects, we just start popping shit and keep them off. Plus, there's another tuner to go into other synchros because like I say it is an all monster deck, so you kind of want to have that. Double Scarecrow. There will be times when your life points are an issue because you're trying to fit up a combo or set up a big play. So you want to protect your life as much as you can because Giga Gloves can only do so much. Then for the last 2 monsters, we got 2 Essential Archfiends because they are essentially an exiled force or an MST since you cannot main deck MSTs anyway. So they're just really good. Put them in your Pendulum Zone, pop, and then of course they don't go to the graveyard, so it does not mess with any of the other combos in the deck. And plus, she's a pretty bitch. And last but not least for the deck is 2 Breakthrough Skills. Like I said, this is a deck that cannot run spells and traps, or cannot have spells and traps in the graveyard for their effects to work. But that's why Breakthrough Skill is so awesome because you can banish your Breakthrough Skill at will and keep all your effects live. And plus, effect negation is really important because 9 times out of the 10 you're going to lose to effect negation because if they can't target and they can't like mirror force or anything because you're not in attack mode, they got to go off with some effects. And you can stop those effects, you can pretty much clinch the game. And that's it for the main deck, of course, 40 cards. Extra deck, real quick. We got Superheavy Samurai Ogre Shooting Doji. Pretty much he says when he's Synchro Summon, he's pretty much a Harpy's Feather Duster. And of course he can attack and defense. And that's pretty much what he is. And you only run 3 of them because of course he's a level 6 and he's easy to get out and he's 25 to defense. So he's essentially one of your nice beaters. And you're in a format where either people play a lot of back row or they don't play any at all. But he's still just good to bring out just because like I said, the 2500 defense, like he just makes things, it makes it really hard. And plus if you use Battle Ball to get him out, you didn't neg at all. So he's a free monster. 2 big ass Warlord Susanos. Pretty much when this is made on either player's turn, you can steal a spell or trap from their graveyard and set it to your side of the field. And once it's sent to the graveyard, it's banished instead. So I like to wait till like they use power plays and like steal their Regeki. I've stolen a Vanity's Emptiness. I've stolen so many cards from the graveyard that are 1-ofs and that I know I cannot run that my opponent does run. And it's helped me turn the tide because I can go into him, blow up the field, and then go into him and steal what I just blew up. And it's usually just too much for my opponent to overcome because what they had for me, I now have for them. So it's just too good. 1 Naturi Beast. Everything pretty much is Earth besides like the Ghost Ogre and the Essential Archfiend. So you got to run the 1 Naturi Beast. It's just too good. It's a fucking spell format. I mean, let's be real. 1 Brachion, same thing as Naturi Beast, just in case you run into that bullshit. Black Rose, you don't run back rows, so sometimes they out advantage you, so you just want to nuke the field, start over. It's not hard for you to start over because you play all monsters anyway, so it's not like you're not going to have a monster to bring out. 1 Hot Red, most of your shit's in defense anyway, so if you make this guy, you just nuke the field, or nuke all monsters in attack mode, and your monster in defense just get to stay alive, so he's just really good. 1 Crimson Blader, sometimes when people bring out shit like, if I can stop a Construct from hitting the field or some shit, I usually go for game. I mean, he's just too good not to want to run. 1 Cataster. Cataster is actually really good. I was running Armades, but I realized Catasters are so good because it's a lot of non-dark entities in this format. So, I mean, it's just like, I throw him the Cataster, and he just gets over a lot of stuff because I don't have to worry about him being big or anything. He just attacks and kills automatically. So, and he's a machine, so he's just fucking free 99. One Samsara, because there's no other way for you to bring some of your stuff back from the grave and you want to. Like, you want to get your Susanoo back or you want to get your Benkei back, and without being able to use spells and traps, you really can't. So you can make Samsara, let it die, and then bring back a big K or a Susanoo and just start back all over again. Because I'm not gonna lie, like I said, it's really hard for people to get around it. So if they got around it once, it's gonna be hard for them to get around it again. So just let this die, bring back Benkei, and you're right back in the game. And then of course, your regulars, you got Exciton and Castile, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Yu-Gi-Oh! You need some outs. And then last but not least, we got the Gear Gigant X, because everything in your deck is a machine. You can pretty much search your whole fucking deck for whatever you want to, which is really good, because you can search a Soul Piercer with the Benkei already on the field. That's pretty much game. And that's the deck.
Okay, give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and other things, and we'll have hopefully real videos very soon.
Sorry for the potato.
Bye, guys.